All praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Makar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. And this is going to be a video on how the Edomites can't compete fairly against any nation, really. All right. And this is going to be on how I'm going to be talking about how I'm just going to speak about how the Moabites or the Chinese are making these crazy new vehicles, and you can see one of their vehicles here on the screen where the vehicle is able to travel across water on like a boat, right? And it's got the engines on the wheels, and it's able to stay buoyant for around half an hour in an emergency. If there was a flood, for example, and the car can do a tank turn. And on this video, they've also got some vehicles that are like a bike that can do a small flight, right? They've got self-flying vehicles that can contain two people, and it's like basically a huge drone, right? And they've got all of these different things, and Esau ultimately cannot compete on a fair playing field with them, and that's the reason for all this tariff stuff, right? But when I started thinking about this, I was thinking, well, if they can't compete with Moab, then for damn sure they can't compete with the Israelites, right? And the reason why the Israelites have not got things like this in our nation is because we've been made so far behind, because in order to take the Israelites down, Esau didn't do it alone. Him and all the other nations took part in our destruction. Psalms 83 is a perfect scripture to go to that speaks about that, where it says, "For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They've taken crafty counsel against thy people, against thy hidden ones, to say that the name of Israel is going to be no more of remembrance," right? And all these nations took part in destroying the real Israelites, right? And through that, now they've been able to all try and carve out their little portion on the earth because they drained out our portion, right? But Yahweh's going to give us back our portion anyway. And when you start looking and seeing all the things that these other nations are able to make, it makes you understand the kind of things that we're going to have. Because when I saw that big drone, I was thinking, well, if they've got these big drones that can fit two people on a flight, and it's basically controlled by AI, well, we're going to have drones or chariots, I mean, in the kingdom of heaven, that's going to be controlled by the Holy Spirit, man. And I heard the Apostle Gabar recently say, which it does say in the scriptures, that the chariots are alive and that they're living creatures, right? Which I found it quite interesting that I heard him say that, because I don't know if Apostle Gabar knew this, but there's a movie called Nope, and I remember hearing Apostle Ricard talk about this movie called Nope, and I've actually seen the movie myself now. And in the movie Nope, they have chariots in the movie, and the chariots are, in the movie, how they make it, the chariots are actually a living animal. It's actually, the chariot is actually a living creature in the movie, which is a lucky if that's a spoiler, but the movie's been out quite a bit now. But the chariot is actually alive. The thing that they are considering a chariot in the sky, it actually is an animal in the movie. It's actually an animal that eats people and all this kind of stuff in the movie, man. It's a living animal, a living creature, right? But like the point I'm making is that the things that Esau has now and these other nations, well, we're gonna have way more. And if the same way how Esau's scared to compete with the Moabites on an even playing field, and he's trying to have to put tariffs on them in order to stop them from being able to sell their cars to the American population, that's the same way how he's always tried to downplay us. Oh, they can't read. Or they can't write. Or they will never be able to play basketball like we will. Or they can't box. Like, it's mad. If you actually understand some of the things that Esau said we would never be able to do, they actually used to say that we wouldn't be able to box. Like, if you actually can even believe that, they won't be able to box. Oh, nah, they can't play basketball. And then we come through so good in basketball that they're having to change the rules. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, I believe it was dunking so often that they was like, you know what, dunking's illegal now. You can't dunk no more. Because they must have tried looking the rule book and be like, oh, that's an illegal move. Because they couldn't do it. And the reason why Kareem Abdul-Jabbar could dunk wasn't because of how tall he was, by the way, because there's plenty of Israelites that ain't even nowhere near his height. Spud Webb, I believe, was 5'6", and he was dunking. Nate Robinson, who's a more recent basketball player, is 5'8", and he's in a dunk contest, dunked over Shaquille O'Neal before. And just in practice, when he's trying to like prank Shaquille O'Neal, he's run up and like dunked on him and like put his foot all on his shoulder and all that. You know what I mean? Like for pranks and all that on the court, and there's footage of it on the internet. And he's like 5'8", 5'9", maybe, which is far from the average height of a basketball player, which I believe is like 6'6" or 6'5" or something like that. Like Esau cannot compete on a fair playing field with any of these nations, man. Let me just quickly try and see if I can show get any still frame footage of any of these things, man. Maybe I should have just left it where it was. Like the car and this car is like, look at, that's nice, right? But that's Moabites technology. How much more when the Israelites start making things and inventing things, man, and have unlimited resources. Every single industry that we've ever got into, we bring out the fruit of that, man. We bring it out for what it really is, and that's the gift of the Israelites have been given. Doesn't it say in the scriptures? I believe it says in the book of Sirach, right, that Yahweh gave us to understand His works with understanding. Right, in the book of Sirach, the 17th chapter, it says Yahweh gave unto the Israelites the ability to understand His works with understanding. So the way how when Israelites get into anything on this world, will bring out of it what it really is about. And the proof of that is when it comes to sports, we've got that on lock. We're the face of that, right? When it comes to music, we're the face of music, man. We understand what music is. Whatever music is, we understand that. We understand the realm of music. We understand the realm of comedy. We understand with this whole new red pill community thing that came out, we understand the realm of understanding women. That's a thing that we understand that, man. Most of the people that are in the red pill community, they're Israelites, man. The main ones are Israelites, and all the main talking points are Israelites. All the main case studies that get done are what's happening among the Israelites, because the Israelites have had to deal with the most rebellious women. The Israelite man's had to deal with the most rebellious woman, and this is, in some cases, has still been able to tame that dragon. Right? When it comes to the Bible, which is the main one, we've brought it out for what it really is. We've brought out the fruit on the Bible, man. We've brought out the salt and what the true understanding of the scriptures are. And that's why the whole world is and does change the way how they view the Bible based on what the Hebrew Israelites have said. They've changed their whole understanding of what the Bible's really talking about because of Israelites, right? Our apostles and their elders and their apostles that taught them. And then how the doctrine has been perfected over time to where it's the true understanding of the Bible has been shown now. The true way and the true understanding of John 3:16, the true understanding of whether Yahweh loves people and who He actually does love. The true substance of the Bible has been brought out by the Israelites. The true substance of everything gets brought out by Israelites. What a vehicle is supposed to be is going to be shown properly in the kingdom of heaven, because these vehicles right now, they produce pollution. The vehicles in the kingdom of heaven are not going to be. They're going to flow with the earth. They're going to not damage the earth in any way. And as nice as this vehicle looks, which it does look very nice, if somebody got you one of these for a gift, you ain't going to be like, oh, nah, man, what's this whack-ass piece of shit? I don't want this shit. You're going to be like, yo, thanks. You know what I mean? You wouldn't mind driving that if you're a person that drives a car. And if you're a person that doesn't drive, if somebody got you one of these, you'd probably learn. You know what I mean? And if it wasn't going to attack your finances in any way, you wouldn't mind driving that. It looks nice, right? It looks like pretty much like a Range Rover. It's a nice looking vehicle, man. It looks real good, right? But yet still, that's the heathen version of a vehicle. In the kingdom of heaven, we're going to have our own things like this, man. And this is just perfect examples of how the heathen have destroyed us, but then they're trying to have their own things. And then Esau, as much as he tries to make it like he's just high IQ and all this and he's just the best, he knows he can't compete. And that's why he's having to try and put all these tariffs on the Moabites. But in the same way how he knows he can't compete with them, he knows he can't compete with us on an even playing field. And he has to use the sword. He has to use trickery and witchcraft and all these different things, right? He has to use propaganda on us. He has to lie and spread rumors about us. He has to poison our water and he can't just be like, you know what, you try and do your thing over there and I'm going to do my thing over there and let's see who wins. Because if the Israelites would have never went into captivity in the Atlantic slave trade, if the Native Americans who are also Israelites would have never had America stolen from him, all these things that Esau's doing right now, he wouldn't have been doing, because him being in the land of America was the reason why he was able to have as much influence as he's got in the earth anyway. And him enslaving all the tribes of Israel. Without that, where would he be? If he was to just have been in his own land, living it up, doing his thing, and trying to build his thing and be like, okay, if you want to live in my country, come and live here. This is what I've got set up here. If you want to live there, come and live here. In my land. No, he had to steal. And they know this, but they don't want to be honest about it. But we're starting to see the evidence that they can't compete with these other nations. Even in terms of the whole boxing thing, right? When it comes to the boxing thing, you got this whole Riyadh season thing, and even the boxing promoters, you got guys like Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren, they're admitting and not even denying it. Like, man, the way how they do the whole boxing thing, the way how they do the whole Riyadh season and the whole boxing thing is better than I've ever seen anyone do it before. They got the whole movie style trailers that they've put for the shows. They're doing it better than Esau does, right? But Esau for the longest time was the face of the whole boxing thing. But then you have to understand this. Most of the talent that comes into the boxing, who are they? The Israelites. Now, some people might say, oh, Tyson Fury and Usyk, they're not Israelites. They're just Edomite guys. They're white men. Well, both of them have showed clear signs that they believe in Yahweh. But they would have said God. And that's a sign of being an Israelite. Having talent is a sign of being an Israelite. Right? And then that's just one fight though. Most of the fights were, I think the Riyadh season thing even came to be based on Anthony Joshua. If I'm not mistaken about that. I believe it was Anthony Joshua where they started the whole Riyadh season thing from. What does he look like? You know what I mean? And it's funny, they've got that whole Riyadh season thing, but he ain't no Ishmaelite talent. That's the main events really on that. And all these nations, they love music, they love all these different things, but they're never the talent of it though. We're normally their talent. But if they really love those things so much, surely among their own people, some of them would actually be the talent of it, rather than us being all the talent of these things. Surely they'd be able to find these things that they like so much among their own people, but they can't though. Because we're the chosen, man. We're the Israelites, man. And I'm going to end this video there, right? But I just wanted to point out that the Edomites know that they can't compete with any of the other nations, really. So they have to use other tactics to try and weasel their way to win. And if they really thought that they could compete with China in the vehicle game, there wouldn't be no need. Obviously, you will put a tariff on somebody because you could do it. Obviously, you could, right? But you wouldn't need to make it be so extreme, because you'd be like, well, they're not going to buy your shit anyway. They're just going to buy mine. So fuck, mate, you can bring it over here. But they've made it so high that it's basically not even profitable for them to bring it over here. And that might change. We'll see. And yeah, shalom.